Pokemon is about to take a pretty huge leap forward. Generation 9 was announced just a couple of weeks ago, but there's still a couple of things that we haven't fully cleared up regarding Generation 8. Like, what animal is Scorbunny based on? Or do these guys use hair gel? If so, what brand? Where can I get some? But today, we need to cover the most important topic of them all, something surrounding one of the game's main legendary Pokemon, as well as the title of the game itself. By the time this video is over, you'll clearly see all the effort that Game Freak put into the most important part of the game, the Pokemon. But before we jump into this theory/analysis, please understand that everything we're going to talk about is my take on the game. Because this is mostly a theory, it should be noted that this is mostly my opinion. So don't be too mad if this theory contradicts any of your preconceived notions about this universally loved franchise. Because believe me, it probably will. Because this theory is such a huge leap forward for the Pokemon community, we will need to cover some history first. Let's look at all the box art that the main series Pokemon games have had over the years, and also the legendaries that accompany the box art. Generation 1. Red, blue, green, yellow. Now, I know what you might be thinking. These Pokemon aren't legendaries, right? Well, a little known fact is that Nintendo is actually confirming the Pokegods theory. In my own words, Pokegods is a term used to refer to a certain group of Pokemon whose Pokedex numbers were greater than 150 and were supposedly obtainable in the Generation 1 games. Most Pokegods were said to be near invincible, while a few were considered hidden bonus Pokemon. So, basically, Pokegods were legendary Pokemon. So pretty much, these are legendary Pokemon. Not enough proof for your mind to comprehend? Well, let's look at the Pokegod that's thought to be linked to Pikachu, called Pikablue. Look familiar? Well, it should. The Pokemon guys added a Pokemon called Meryl later that is pretty much a direct callback to Pikablue. So Pokegods are confirmed, don't even bother thinking otherwise, and Generation 1 box art Pokemon are all legendaries. Their names match too. What color are these Pokemon? The colors of their names. So let's move on to the next generation. This one's pretty simple. Lugia looks pretty much like silver. Yeah. And Ho-Oh is pretty much the rainbow Pokemon, so it means it represents all colors, and gold is pretty much a color. So these two match. But uh-oh, there's also a third game here called Crystal. Now, Suicune isn't exactly a crystal Pokemon, so the legendary box art here doesn't actually relate to this Pokemon. That's because the legendary Pokemon of this game isn't actually Suicune. Crystal is literally the name of a guy from the manga, so she's actually the third legendary Pokemon, completing one of my favorite legendary trios of all. For the third generation, the first two match pretty easily once again. Sapphire is pretty much the blue color, and this guy is blue. So not only does that confirm the Pikablue theory even more, but it also matches the legendary and the name. Yeah. And then a Ruby is pretty much red, and so is this guy. So it's pretty simple, right? Wrong. This Emerald guy also matches the names with this Emerald guy, so who's the real legendary Pokemon here? To solve this conundrum, I decided to use the most objective solution I had. When I looked up Emerald Pokemon on the first page of Google Images, it was this guy that came up, so that pretty much solves it. Generation 4 is a bit more complicated though. Once again, the first two are pretty simple. Palkia is the Pearl Pokemon, notice the P. And Dialga is the Diamond Pokemon. Notice the... Wait, I can't show that on YouTube. So what about Platinum? Giratina and Platinum don't really match name-wise, so that's sad. So that just means that the legendary for Platinum has to be a Platypunk from Dragon Quest. It matches the naming convention that this generation was going for. Yeah. Next is Generation 5, and this seems simple at first glance. Never mind. They actually messed up on the placements for the colors. Game Freak, I'd love to see more effort put into Pokemon in the future, please. And as for the other ones, they're pretty easy. This Pokemon is clearly a black too. Likewise, this Pokemon is clearly a white too. Also, it's technically two Pokemon in one, so it has twice the legendariness, meaning that this is the best generation. For Generation 6, we have some more letter shenanigans in the name. Xerneas is X, because my ex demands child support money, and Yveltal is Y, because I don't know why she took the kids. Generation 7 has to be the coolest one, and not just because the names are in space, where it's cool. Sun is like Solar, and Solar is like Solgaleo. And Moon is like Lunala, and Lunala is like lunar. Yep. And then for the other ones, they just become Ultra or something. And now, finally, we get into the bulk of the theory. So, Zachary is the sword Pokemon, because it carries a sword, so it clearly matches the title for the first game. Now, before we continue and actually get into the bulk of this theory, please bear in mind that this entire video is just my opinion. So because it is, don't forget to like and subscribe, and to sell your soul to me for more great content. But now, what if? What if Game Freak, the crazy innovators that they are, decided to make Zamazenta the legendary Pokemon for Shield? I know, it sounds crazy, but hear me out on this one. It kinda looks like a shield.